relevant. It's just we're slow to do that.
Yeah. Did you have anything to add?
I think, honestly, I always thought there was a decline with the internet. I feel like we have the answer to like every single question in the world at our fingertips versus growing up, you were told this is what it is, and you said, okay, like, I remember my mom's word was like gospel. Like, I was like the kid, like, going to school, like, well, my mom says this. Because, like, I couldn't Google it and be like, mom's wrong. So, you know, like, so now we're all so intertwined and connected globally that we realize there's so many other answers versus being like, I was told this is the truth. Now you're like, well, I'm kind of questioning it because I met this person across the globe and they think this or they don't believe this. Like, even growing up and being like, all right, I don't believe in God, you're kind of like scared to say it out loud because you're the minority in most rooms.
Yeah.
And then it's like I get online and people like, you don't even have to ask them. They're just commenting like, by the way, God's not real. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
so you
feel like you have like
there's more exposure now.
Yeah.
Especially with internet, it's the same reason fashion hasn't changed that much. We're like all so interconnected with each other and have so much access to everything.
Yeah. 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 Great insight, everybody. Thank you. Any other questions?
Would a Christian be more scared of death than an atheist?
I'm not scared to die. Like I mean, I don't want to die. Like
I mean, we all
like I'm not
right?
volunteering
I
myself.
think we can all agree on that one.
But like I think, like I'll share something intimate. I had a brother pass away in January, and a lot of people like reaching out to give me comfort were like, he's in a better place. And I was like, I don't think so. Like I didn't need that. Like that didn't give me any comfort. I was like, I'm pretty sure he's just dead now. So it doesn't scare me. I think it's just like finite. It's just done.
Yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah. Yeah, because you don't believe that there's anything after that.
Yeah, if anything, it's like, I'm not trying to do this again, so.
Oh. Like you were talking
I'm like, once was enough, that's fine.
do I really want to come back to this again?
That's all I needed.
I'm here again. That's why I put her next to me so I could help keep reeler in. No, I can't. So does anybody else have any comments on that? I'm just kidding, Tay. No? No?
Fearing living and fearing dying is a big waste of your time.
Yeah.
If you believe what you believe, go ahead and live.
Yeah.
We'll all leave here.
Yeah.
I plan on leaving here pretty happy.
Yeah. Yeah. Me too. Me too. Okay. Thank you for that question. Any other questions?
Thank you all for the courage and the openness. It's Mike over here. Just one comment and then I have a question. My comment that I think maybe adds to a previous question is the religious grouping that I'm affiliated with, my family's affiliated with, is actually one in which I can't get married, which is an interesting challenge because that tradition means a lot to me. And yet I look at the sacrament of marriage and it's like, well, what that is specifically celebrating is not something that I fit into. Like it's not something that I could possibly align with. And I have to understand that differences in theology don't always equal hate. I think oftentimes today we can see things like that, a discrepancy maybe between a theology and the reality of me as a human and say, oh, there's hate there. And it might not always be that way. I'm glad now that there's civil marriage in this country where I can, get married to whoever I love now in the USA. And that to me is really important and speaks to the importance of, again, that difference between, church and state. So I just figured that might add a little bit to that question, which was so good. But my question for you all is when it comes to religion and faith and ideology, it's such a part of our identity. It's something that we carry. And when we have an identity like that, the world tends to see us in particular ways. Mm-hmm. They approach us with assumptions, with stereotypes. So I want to ask y'all, what is an assumption or stereotype that you faced from other people because of what you believe or what you don't believe, and why is that wrong? Why are they misperceiving you?
Good question. What are some stereotypes that you feel? Yes, go ahead, Eric.
People think Unitarian Universalists can believe anything they want.
That's what I thought when I first. That's what I thought. So
It's
that's why I
just
asked
not
the
true.
question. I'm like, yeah.
We base our beliefs in a wide variety of theologies, and like I said, we share common values. So we base our beliefs in our experiences and our values.
Yeah. it's interesting, when I first learned about, the U Church, some years back, it was very intriguing to me because I thought, if you have someone that is a Satanist or, somebody that practices Wicca, and then you have someone that's a Christian, Muslim, all together in this space, like, what does the song sound like? I always wonder, like, how does that happen, And so that was always a very curious thing for me too. So that was one of my thoughts. So, but I asked questions and I found out more and talked with people. So it was interesting. But yeah, that's a good question. Anybody else have anything? I want to hear from you. Some assumptions that people have about people who practice pagan religion.
I think the one I get the most is people assume I'm gonna hex them
Oh, hex. Oh,
all
yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
Like, we disagree and I'm gonna hex you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's the biggest one.
That people feel. Yeah. Yeah. What do you feel? Yeah. There's some assumptions.
So in regards to Christianity, I think there's a lot of assumptions that there's only one way to be Christian, and I don't think that's true. I think there's lots of ways to follow Jesus.
Yeah. Thank you. Naveed? Yeah.
So, I'm a Muslim,
No. No, I'm kidding.
so I don't have to tell you like what is
Yeah.
the stereotype of for us.
Yes.
Yes.
People think that all the Muslims are bad. It's not true. Unfortunately, there are times when even my patients tell me, "Doc, you're a good guy, but the rest of the Muslims are not good." Okay.
People actually say that to you?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
had it.
People are interesting.
So
I was gonna say the brown people can relate.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. I just.
yeah, we go through this a lot, but I think, but then I look at the better side, and it's like it gives me opportunity to tell them that not all Muslims are bad. Not all Muslims are going to blow up.
Yeah.
or
Jeez
terrorists.
Louise.
So it's like, let's talk more on an intellectual level and talk about why people think, or why do you think Muslims are bad, or why do you think they do those things. So then when somebody shows interest and then they discuss, and when we talk about common grounds or differences, then they understand, and then they come up to the conclusion, no, you're right. You guys are not bad, but you guys are misunderstood. So yeah, this is why I started with, like, I'm a Muslim,
Yeah.
so that you can understand this is we are
Yeah.
stereotyped all the time. So yes, we
Yeah.
face a lot.
Yeah. Generalizations are a terrible, terrible thing. I'm gonna see. I'm sorry.
Well, I'm a Christian,
Okay. Yeah.
and there are biases that come with that, saying that as well. And I think one of the ones, there's several, but the one that comes to mind for me is that we're robots. We're just following, blindly
Yeah.
following. And that we don't get it when it comes to real life. Neither do we understand science at all. So that's
Do you understand science?
a little bit.
He's a scientist. That's why I'm joking. I'm joking with
But
him.
that's the
Yeah.
one that it's always
Yeah.
blind robots.
Yeah. Generalizations are terrible. I mean, it just is what it is, right? And I think some of our I guess strongest weapons is existing, right? When we exist in a kind way and we treat people a certain way, that's our best way to be able to represent that there are good people in the world, right? And then once they realize, oh, you are affiliated with this or this, they realize, oh, there are not only good people, but there are good Muslim people in the world, or good Christian people in the world, or good, I mean, so a lot of it is just in the way we actually act and not just talk, right? That is the biggest part of it for me. Any other questions? Thank you, everybody. This is great.
So tying in a couple of the questions that were previously mentioned, how do you think that social media, especially during COVID, with being indoors and a lot of our communication and information has been gained online, especially during on social media like TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat, affected your religion or your belief with, and like how do you think it do you think it benefited your religion, more people are coming in, or do you think there has been more misinformation or stereotypes being spread?
I think that went back to kind of what you were talking about.
Sorry,
Yeah.
can you repeat the question?
And correct me if I'm wrong, because it was kind of hard to hear, but are you asking the question that do we feel like social media impacted the image in a positive or a negative way regarding your religion? So
Yes.
social media, people are put up stuff all the time, so do you feel like it helped it or hindered it? Is that what you're asking?
Yes, that's exactly what I'm
Okay,
asking.
thank you.
I can't tell. I don't really know.
Yeah,
So for
yeah.
once, I don't have an answer.
Uh,
If you can believe it.
do you feel?
I think social media has its good and bad effects, and this is where I feel bad about this next generation, that in our time, we didn't have Google to search. For me, when I had to look at an article, I had to go into the library, find those articles, read about them, and then make a copy. Now we can just search it on the net, which is a good thing. It makes life easier. On the other hand, bad stuff, unauthenticated stuff gets onto the social media, and nobody knows which is right, what is right, and what is wrong. Like sometimes back then, every time a patient would come, we're like, I'll search it on the Google.
Yeah.
And I would have told them, like, yes, this is there, but this medication has other effects
I'm
too.
that patient, I'm the person. I look at people.
Yeah.
Like one time, like a patient comes to me, like, I have searched the Google on this procedure. This is what you are going to do. It's like, thank you, I know how to do the procedure. I'm the one who's going to tell you that I'm going to do it. You don't have to tell me how to do the procedure. So nowadays, like even my employees, like they would come, oh yeah, I saw it on the TikTok, how to do this thing. Like, did you like make sure that this was the right thing? So yes, it's tough for kids, especially the new generation, to figure out what is right, what is wrong, and the social media has bombarded them with so much of that information that it's kind of hard to decipher. And another example, and nothing wrong, but I cannot go to all these Facebook, Instagram, too many, TikTok. Like, my kids have multiple accounts on these ones, and they will be going on those ones. I refuse to go on some of them because too much for me. I cannot keep up with that. But these kids do that, and they have to keep up with that. For me, if I'm not on the social media and there are no likes or thumbs up for my something, I don't care. But the kids get upset. And as a physician, I see that. The next generation kids are going through emotional issues for like that they don't have that many followers,
Yeah.
they didn't get that many likes. So social media has affected more than what we expected, and we actually are lagging behind. And I'm giving you my perspective as a physician, like we are lagging behind in trying to come up with therapies for them, and the impact has already gone furthermore. So to me, there always are going to be something will be good out of a thing and something bad out of a thing. And just we have to figure out how to utilize it.
Yeah, that feels pretty true, yeah.
So, social media, TikTok, Instagram, Snapchat has been actually, I think, beneficial for progressive Christianity. The hashtag has grown immensely in the last couple of years. And I was recently, 6 months ago, in July, was with, 3 months ago, I don't know, was with a group of youth, and our general minister and president of the denomination asked them, what should we be doing to bring youth into the United Church of Christ? And the youth that were gathered said, well, where is our advertising? Where is our content creators? Where is our TikTok? Where is our, so that was their ask, is how are you sharing your faith on social media? And so I agree, there's lots of things that we we need to be aware of in regards to social media, but I also think that it has been positive for progressive Christianity.
I was going to say too, social media has created an attention fatigue for everyone,
Yes.
but also it has been a particular challenge to communicate. It poses a communication challenge in various media that many of us have never really tried to communicate on before. But also it's a challenge to us to remain relevant, right? And I think media in general have made Unitarian Universalism in particular more accessible to people all around the world. And I think that's probably true for all of us.
Yeah, I agree. And I think it goes back to the person I think that you spoke about earlier, Naveed, is that what you search for, you will find, right? So if you search for certain things on social media, you will find it, and then it just will keep coming to you, because once they realize that you like that, they're going to keep. Yes. So I think it really is like a personal challenge to seek out the things that you are looking for. Do we have one more question?
Good evening. How do you guys manage not weaponizing your beliefs or your unbeliefs when you come in contact with, especially at an event like this, where there's so many different cultures, so many different beliefs? How do you guys manage sharing your faith or unfaith without weaponizing it?
That's an easy question. I could start. Can I start with that? One is, I believe it. It is not a tool. It is not a weapon. It is my position by which I live, not by which I attack. And that's for me. This is how I believe. This is how I live. And I'm okay not attacking you with it. So that's how I do it. I'm disciplined within myself about what I believe. I absolutely believe what I believe, and I'm okay with that position. So I don't feel the pressure to weaponize it. I don't have anything to prove from it. I am who I am. I live this way, and I'm not going to waste my time over proving it to you by beating you over the head.
Yeah. And that's a really fair question, because I think that does happen, right? Where people, it becomes this, because I know even the anxiousness of even tonight, people like, I don't want to debate, I don't want to argue, and I'm like, we don't do that here. We talk to each other, and but there is that fear, right?
It's real.
Yeah, of if you feel something different, it becomes this fight, and we don't have to fight. That's the beauty of it, because even after the conversation, you go home, I go home, and we both can still believe what we believe, and then come back and break some bread, right? And have a good time. But that is a fair question. Anybody want to add to that?
Our differences make life rich, full and rich. If we're living our core values, particularly if one of them is love, then there is no risk to sharing one's beliefs. How did I start that?
Yeah, no.
I hope nothing that I've said has felt like a weapon to anyone, right? I think sometimes we don't even realize the trauma that people carry in regards to religion. So I think that, again, this open and safe space and creating that is really important. Also acknowledging that we can cause harm without realizing.
Yeah, and we didn't even get to that part. Yeah. I mean, I had parts about the trauma part, because it's a real thing, And again, I think that we at this table, we come here knowing that we want peace, right? So we talk in a very beautiful, safe way. But there is some real things that happen, right, where people do weaponize they do use their beliefs as a weapon towards other people. Go ahead. Yeah.
But the thing you have to realize is this too. Let's be real. Christians do it to each other.
Oh yeah.
So if you're outside the Christian faith, trust me, it's not just happening to you.
Yeah.
It's not just happening because of your sexual preferences, not because of where you live, your economic status. Christians, unfortunately, do it to each other.
Yeah.
So that is a real thing that happens. And I believe it happens in any social and religious group. It does happen, unfortunately.
Yeah. Did you want to add something?
I was just gonna say, to be completely honest, I'm still learning. I think especially when I was like younger and more arrogant, I'd be like, I'm so much smarter than this person. I'm not arrogant anymore. I've grown out of it. But I'm lucky. I'm learning to, I think especially like with the world and the political climate, it's easy to get wrapped up in those ideals. Like when Roe v. Wade was overturned, I was like, all right, it's like me versus them. It's us versus them, period. And I have to unlearn that mindset and take people for who they are. So I'll say, like, there have definitely been times where I've probably weaponized it or minimized somebody to be like, how can you believe this? Like, you're a grown up, get over that. But I'm working on just, I think somebody said it earlier, if you're going to love somebody, you have to love them for everything they are. And it's not my job to change their beliefs. Like Erin had said, like when she was like, how do you feel about tonight? I was like, girl, you know me, like we're not debating, right? Because like I get like worked up. So I was like, I was like, that's not what I want to do. Like I'm still learning how to have just conversation and just walk away and agree to disagree. I'm working on it.
I think you did a good job.
I'm trying. I'm doing my best.
I think
Good job.
it kind of in that vein, I've never used my religion to weaponize as a weapon, but I have used other people's against them. You know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I appreciate
Like, I was Christian, I read the Bible, I know it extensively, and it's just been recently where I won't interact.
Yeah, I'm like I said, I'm just learning to do it. So.
Yeah.
Right.
I think
It's
most
a
of us, what we are saying is open-minded and tolerance. We all said that. But one important factor is the moderator. In this discussion, the moderator is trying to keep everything soft and is not creating any tensions. If there was any other person who would try to do it, you will
Right.
see that discussion panel will go totally in
Yeah.
a different direction.
Yeah, we might end up in a fight, right? We don't want to fight.
So,
No,
thank you.
No, yeah. No, I appreciate y'all. I know our time is closing. I really appreciate these type of conversations. This is how we do it. This is how we do it in regards to learning from each other, gleaning from each other, and just really sharing space in a way that is beautiful and not combative. So I appreciate you all for taking the time to do this. I appreciate the audience. And no, we did not get into some of the things of, the hurt that people experience on why, right? They may go a different direction or path, right? I mean, I myself had personal things that happened to me in a church setting, like how you were saying, Anthony, about, sometimes things can happen to your, within that same, belief system, right? Things when I was a child, that was some of my first hurts, and if I would have taken that and kind of condemned a whole faith based on that, then that I'm actually suffering, by doing that. So anyway, I appreciate you all. I really do. This was great. I love that we were able to do this, and I will turn it over to Mr. Holman. First, I want to thank him because he can't thank himself, so I want to thank Mr. Holman as the MC for always being here. So I appreciate that.
Hopefully you will walk away tonight with a nugget that you all can use in your everyday lives to have a real conversation, a courageous conversation like we had tonight. That's what we're trying to do. Hopefully you enjoyed part 5 of Including You series, and there's a following series coming in 2024 as well. First of all, I'd just like to thank Erin just for doing this. Just to give her a hand for putting that together. And then the panelists. The panelists, thank you very, very much. We want to have thank you, Anthony. Thank you, Naveed. Thank you, Tay, Jen, Krista, and Eric. Thank you all very much for being here and taking the time to share your knowledge with each one of us.
I want to say something real quick. A couple of them, I'm not going to point them out, but they had surgeries and some pain, and a couple of them here, and they still came tonight. So I appreciate you all. Thank you. Go ahead. Thank you.
Earlier tonight, during the pre-show, we had the Midland High School Marching Band.
I love the band.
And also some of the cheerleaders from Midland High as well. We just want to thank Midland High for letting them come out and play for us tonight. We will be making a donation to the Midland High School Band Association
Yep.
for their participation. And also with the Breaking Bread Village, it does take a village to do this. We just want to take a few minutes to just thank some people who helped to make this happen. First of all, I just want to thank our sound and visual team. Behind the curtain here is Jared behind here. We have Adam over here doing the video. Thank you all very much. Then we have someone walking around here taking pictures. There she is right there, taking pictures. That's Alexis, Akuta Bearer, Fine Arts and Photography. Thank you, Alexis. Our stage manager, we got Anna. We're doing hospitality. I see Danielle. You see Danielle out there as well. Melissa, Mo, Saeed, Garland, Kate. Thank you all very much for your help as well.
Yes.
Thank you to the Midwest Mo Industries.
Where's he at?
And then also, we want to thank the Great State Dow Library for letting us use this beautiful facility to bring us these series. And then we really do appreciate our partnership with the Midland Area Cultural Awareness Coalition for partnering with us to bring this forward as well.
Yes.
And then lastly, I want you to thank yourselves. Give yourself a round of applause. And I have an assignment for you all. Your assignment is be back for part 6
That's right.
in January. Be back for part 6. And the other assignment is bring someone with you. Preferably bring someone who does not look like you, maybe not think like you, and just have a real conversation. Be safe. Get home safely tonight. Thank you all very much.
All right, MC. Thank you all so much.
You are dismissed.
Pleasure meeting you. Enjoy the
Thank you all so much. I appreciate you.
Enjoy meeting you, darling.